Hello, welcome. I'm so excited that you found this today. This is Breastfeeding 101. This is strategies to get things off to a good start and the importance of Latch. My name is Alex Wachelka, and I am an international board certified lactation consultant, and I'm the founder and CEO of my business and private practice, Motherhood Blooms Lactation. My passion is helping you prepare for and feed your baby. I love all things feeding babies and breastfeeding and helping make breastfeeding feel easier and more accessible to you. Just because it's a natural way to feed a baby does not mean it comes naturally. And that's why I want to jump into helping you get breastfeeding off to a good start. So if you are pregnant and this is your first pregnancy, congratulations, how very exciting. If this is baby number 2, baby number 3, if you just need a refresher, this is a really great video to watch because we are going to just talk about the basics and how to help you get things off to a good start. So I want you to ponder for a little while, and please feel free to pause this video. What feelings come up for you when you think about breastfeeding? Is this the first time you're ever going to breastfeed? Are you scared? Are you feeling kind of nervous? Are you terrified it's going to be painful? Do you figure, I'll just breastfeed if I can? Have you breastfed before? And a lot of emotion comes up because it didn't work out the first time, or it was really tough, or you didn't have the right support. So this is something for you to do. Again, feel free to pause this, take some time, journal on this, because this is a really important part of setting yourself up for successful breastfeeding. It's believing that you are capable. Your body can do this. All right, so let's get started. Getting off to a good start. Now, there is so much more I could tell you today, but I want to give you the immediate things that you could do right after birth to get breastfeeding off to a really strong start. So the first thing that you can do is the golden hour. This is that amazing uninterrupted time with your baby, skin to skin, where you guys are just soaking in each other. The oxytocin is flowing. This is helping the milk flow. You guys are bonding. Ideally, this is happening with you, the person giving birth, to best initiate breastfeeding. Now, separation can happen after birth. We know that there are cesareans. We know that sometimes baby needs to be separated after mom. And if that's the case, your baby can do skin to skin with your partner. It will still actually put them in the zone, if you want to call it that, to get breastfeeding off to a successful start. But this uninterrupted time skin to skin is really, really important to help the flow of oxytocin, which is what allows your milk to flow, but it also regulates your baby's body temperature, their blood sugar. It helps support their immune system. It's a really beautiful time that will also give them the opportunity to use their instincts and their reflexes to find the breast. We're mammals. Babies have the ability to bob around and root for and crawl up towards the breast if we give them this time, if we give them this uninterrupted time. So having the golden hour as part of your birth plan, making sure that this time is protected with you and your baby will help set you up for a strong start to breastfeeding. I mentioned a few of these already. Skin to skin is releasing oxytocin. It regulates your baby's temperature. It actually helps reduce stress. And it initiates what is called the breast crawl. This is your baby's innate way of finding and latching onto the breast. We're mammals. If you think about puppies, kittens, when they're born, they instinctively know where to go. They can bob around and crawl towards and find the nipple to feed and nurse. And human babies can do the same thing. What happens though is we're rushed. A lot of the times it's you need to latch them on, I need to see the latch, or you have to do certain things, and people in and around you want it done in a certain time frame. But if we allow baby the opportunity, if we get them skin to skin, we get them on our abdomen, those instincts, those reflexes, they're going to kick in. Now, if there were medications in delivery, baby's going to be a little bit sleepy. They're going to need a little bit more time, which is normal, but we can give them this opportunity. Breastfeeding is a system that is supposed to work. You might not have ever done it before. Your baby certainly hasn't ever done it before. You guys are in this together and you're partners. And so we want to allow baby the opportunity to use that biology, use those instincts to get breastfeeding off to a good start. Now, the biggest concern one of the biggest when I talk to new moms is latch and painful breastfeeding. This comes a lot from stories that they hear from other people who had hard times, but also our society. We have normalized breastfeeding needing to be painful. When I was nursing my firstborn, before I was a lactation consultant, I was miserable. Breastfeeding was so painful, but I just thought it was supposed to be that way. Somehow it would get better. Somehow I would just push through. No, please do not feel that you need to push through, tough it up, suck it up, whatever it is. Breastfeeding does not have to be painful. You want a good latch because it makes feeding comfortable for both of you. We need a good latch for effective milk removal. If your baby's not latched well, they're not going to drink as much milk as might be available to them. So with my firstborn, he had some challenges around his oral function, so the ability for his tongue to move well. And what that meant was he wasn't actually drinking as much milk as I could produce. And so because he wasn't removing milk well, over time it started to impact my supply. And I started to experience a bit of a low supply. So a good latch is important for effective milk removal. And that's what supports milk production. The more milk you remove, the more often, the better you do it, the more that you will produce. That is the supply and demand relationship of breastfeeding. And having a good latch, a latch that feels comfortable, prevents damage. A lot of what's happening with damages is the baby's latching on to just the nipple when they actually need to latch onto the nipple and surrounding tissue so that they can bring the nipple all the way to the back of their throat, to the back of their mouth rather, where the soft palate is. So that's comfortable for you and it prevents damage. When it's shallow, the nipple is pushing up against the roof of their mouth, which is bone. And that's when things start to pinch and it's painful and we start to see damages happening. The act of actually getting your baby latched can feel really challenging at first. And like I said, this is a learning curve. It's totally normal for it to feel a little unnatural at first, even though it's a natural way to feed a baby. But there's a few things that you can do. We want to get skin to skin because we want to get our babies into this zone where they can use these instincts and these reflexes that they have. But we can position them in a way to help support that. So we can turn them all the way towards our bodies, completely tummy to tummy. They are touching up against us. They are so nice and snug to our body. And then we're going to look at where their head is. Their head is going to be at your breast, but look where their nose is positioned. Their nose should be pointing at your nipple. So you might need to tug your baby in the opposite direction to line up their nose to your nipple. Now, it might not make sense. It might seem a little counterintuitive, like why would I line them up to the nose when the nipple needs to go in their mouth? The reason is when a baby opens to latch and they come in leading with their chin, they're actually going to tilt their head back and reach up and over. And that's going to allow the nipple to point to the roof of their mouth and be drawn all the way back to that comfort zone that where the soft palate is. This is a series of reflexes though. So your baby starts to root, they kind of look around, they get organized, they use their hands to do this, and then they start moving their head up and down, and that's when they'll plant their chin, which leads to their next reflex to open up wide, so almost as wide as a yawn, and then they'll reach up and over. So the baby in this photo definitely is not latched. They're sort of in the process of getting there, but this visual is helpful because they do need to tilt their head and extend. We actually want their head free to move. So you can see the parent's hands are across baby's shoulder blades. That's important. If we've got our hands on the back of their head, they're going to feel that, and that stimulation is going to cause them to come off the breast or move around. You might not get the comfortable latch that you're after. The reason how they're positioned at the breast is so important is because a poor position can cause pain. So pain in your physical body, like your arms can start to hurt, your wrist, your neck, your back, your hips. If you're always hunched over, leaning over, bringing your body down to your baby to try and feed, you're going to get uncomfortable really quickly. You're spending lots of time nursing your baby. So I want to make sure that your body is comfortable and positioned really well. Your baby also needs to be close to you so that there's no gaps, because if there's gaps, they might not have a deep enough latch. Now, this baby, for example, they are not facing the parent. They are turned kind of far away. What I would like to see is baby facing their food. If you or I are eating something, we're looking at our food. This baby's not turned all the way towards the breast, and looking at their latch and the side of their mouth, it is quite shallow. They do not have that wide gape. I don't know if this parent is comfortable or not. but this baby's latch is not great. What I would do is actually turn them all the way towards mom. We want their ears, their shoulders, and their hips in alignment. And that's going to lead baby to have that better positioning where they can tilt their head, open up wide, and get that deep, comfortable latch. It's really important that you know as well what's normal and what's not normal. And I say this because a lot of what I have in this not normal column, we as a society think is normal, but it's because it's common, and common does not mean normal. So things that are normal are cluster feeding. When your baby is going through periods of growth spurts and they're feeding very frequently throughout the evening and overnight, this is biological. We're expecting it to happen. A newborn who wants to be held all the time, who wants to be on your body, who won't sleep anywhere but on your body, who seems content, so we lay them down and they wake up suddenly crying for you. These are normal things. A baby nursing frequently, a newborn nursing 10 to 12 times in a 24-hour period is normal. 8 times in 24 hours is the absolute bare minimum. Your baby should also be nursing through the night throughout that first year of their life. This is something that is very, very normal. Waking frequently, normal. Newborn behavior. Your breast leaking, normal. But these are things that people might feel like they're not normal, something's wrong. But what actually isn't normal is things like pain, painful latching. We've accepted it as normal, but it means there's something deeper going on. There's something wrong, something we can fix. Having recurrent plugged ducts, clogged ducts, that's not normal. It's not supposed to happen. So why is it happening? Getting mastitis, that's not a rite of passage. You shouldn't have to get mastitis. I've had parents ask me before, I've been teaching prenatal classes, and they say like, they're scared of mastitis and their baby isn't even born yet, because people have just terrible horror stories of this. But this is something that doesn't have to happen. Getting thrush, which is a fungal infection, it doesn't have to happen. Breast and nipple pain, it's common. Yeah, it's common. I experienced it. Not most, but a lot of my clients experience it until I assist them. But we've normalized it. Pain tells me there's something we can do. There's something we can fix or something we can change. So whether that's pain with nursing or pain with pumping, you shouldn't be experiencing it. There's something we can do to help you have a more comfortable experience. And that happens inside the Breastfeeding Before Baby program. So this is my prenatal breastfeeding program that I created based off of working with hundreds of moms and the concerns and challenges that they faced, as well as what I wish I would have learned in my prenatal class. Because my prenatal breastfeeding class, honestly, I took it at 38 weeks pregnant. It was an in-person class, and I had Braxton Hicks that were so bad that I honestly didn't pay too much attention. I'm okay to admit that to you today, but it's everything I wish I would have learned. Things like red flags, like when do I reach out for help? Because I pushed on through 2 weeks of misery before I reached out to a lactation consultant to get help. How do I protect my milk supply if I'm separated from my baby? How do I know they're getting enough milk when I'm breastfeeding? Like, how can I possibly tell that they're getting enough? How to maintain your milk supply? How to feed your baby alternatively if they need to be supplemented or they're having challenges latching, for example. Like, it doesn't mean we have to jump straight to bottles and formula. There's things like hand expression and syringe feeding and cup feeding. These are all skills that can really support you into getting the breastfeeding experience that you want and getting a successful start to your breastfeeding journey. This program is completely online. It's accessible 24/7, no matter where you live in the world. And it's broken down into 4 easy to follow classes. So a live class just like this, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And it's broken down into 4 different sections to guide you through the different stages, starting with how your body's changing in pregnancy, how it's going to begin making milk for your baby, what it's going to look like afterwards feeding your baby, their behaviors the first few days to the first few weeks, signs that you need to reach out for support, red flags that say, hey, this isn't normal, I need to know where to get help. This class also comes with downloadable handouts. So you can print them, put them on your fridge, keep them on your nightstand. I've got pictures of baby poop. So you can tell if the color is right. Is your baby getting enough milk? What to do if you and your baby are separated? How to know if your baby's hungry? Like, do I wait for them to cry? Is there another way to tell if they're hungry? All of these are available just a few days after you're in the class, and you have 24/7 access to them. So as long as this program exists, you've got access to it. I have testimonials from moms telling me that they felt so much more confident after going through this program, that they felt so much more well informed. There is a lot you learn about your body, which is really important to me because as women, we're just not taught enough about our bodies in general. And then in that postpartum period, especially when we're lactating and breastfeeding a baby, there is just so much that we don't get this information. We have to reach out. We have to find those experts. We have to watch classes like this. We have to take, classes and programs to learn more. And it's really important to me. So there is a more of that inside the program as well to learn on a deeper level what's happening inside your body and how your body's getting ready to feed your baby. Also, those things I talked about, like plug ducts and mastitis and how they're not supposed to happen, how you can prevent them, what to do if they do happen, all of that is inside this course. So the link for this is going to be right around this video. It is available for $97 Canadian or a payment plan. So it's also available in 3 installments of $33. All you have to do is click the drop down menu when you're at the checkout page and choose a payment plan if that's what's going to work best for you. So thank you so much for catching this mini class, Breastfeeding 101. All of the resources that you're going to need are right around this video. And I am wishing you the most success and a wonderful start to your breastfeeding journey.